Hey guys, so VEDA today, I'm going to talk about my surrogacy journey so far. I have a couple new subscribers, so just a little update for those of you who are new to my channel and don't want to watch all the other videos. So, I mentioned yesterday I had my baby in October, and in December I made the decision to become a surrogate, and that was early December. We did a lot of research over the next week and a half, 2 weeks, and I'd kind of looked into it a little bit in November, but I didn't really mention it or do much with it. So I did have a little tiny bit of knowledge about the process. So in the middle of December, I discovered a great little site, well, a couple sites actually, that were basically online classified boards for surrogacy. And you could either post a classified as a surrogate looking, or you could post a classified as parents looking. And basically the only way you would do this is if you were working with, or surrogates only do this if you are working, you want to work independently. Sometimes agencies will put their client classified on there, but it's only like 2 or 3 agencies that do. Anyway, so by like the 3rd week of September or so, I had sent out a lot of feelers, I guess, and I had a couple come back with hits as far as, you know, they wanted to know more and stuff, and I don't really get too much into that, but there was probably like 4 or 5 couples I talked to fairly seriously, but not enough to really vlog about or anything. It was just like, what are you looking for, da 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 da, and then obviously none of them worked for various reasons. One lady found a surrogate closer to her, which I completely understand, and she was the first one I ever had spoken to. Like, I actually called her up and talked to her. Another one I turned down, you know, it was just sort of things like that. In the midst of all this, I found a gentleman and his wife's ad. And I will admit I was taken in a little bit by their story, yes, but also they were offering almost twice what the usual compensation is, and so I'd be lying to say that that didn't have some pulling power. I mean, I talked to them. Needless to say, since they were offering a lot of money, they had had a ton of people respond. I submitted my application, and they were just basically playing a narrow it down game. Now, we were talking probably about once a week, just about like plans and stuff, and they told me who their doctor was. They were going through a fertility clinic in Nevada, and they told me to call them and make an appointment, so I did. And I made an appointment to talk to their doctor, their reproductive endocrinologist, who was supposed to kind of do a little interview to see if I would be a good choice as a surrogate. So, and this, mind you, this has taken place over months and months. Like, I was ready to go, you know, I was sending everything in as fast as I could, and I thought I really liked the couple, and so I was sending in everything, and probably around March, I think it was like the end of March, I finally got the call with the doctors in Las Vegas. In that call, I found out that I was not the only surrogate, which is what I thought I was. I knew that they had previously considered a lot of them, but I didn't know that I was still one of 3 that they were considering. And they were also, those 2 other surrogates were also having calls with that doctor. So I talked to the doctor, and the doctor seemed to really like me. He said that he thought I'd be a good choice, and when they asked his recommendation, that's basically, he would recommend me. So I was pretty excited about that, and then I didn't hear from the parents for about 2 weeks. So this puts it probably like the beginning of April, and I kind of have to backtrack a little bit here. Sorry. In December, I had put in a contract, or I had put in an application with Growing Generations, which is my current agency. And they accepted me, and I sent out they pre-accepted me, I should say. And they sent out the very first application, because they have a pre-application on their website. So the pre-application passed, and they sent me out a regular application. And I filled that out, and in January, when they were starting to discuss, like, moving forward, I was still talking to this other couple, but at that time I didn't know I was one of 20 surrogates that this couple was considering. So in January, I was still talking to this other couple, and I was trying to decide if I wanted to go with an agency or not. And I felt really bad because I didn't want to be leading the agency on, I didn't want to be leading the couple on, I just didn't really know what to do because I saw pros and cons of each. So, I had some family issues, and I needed to take some time off from the whole surrogacy thing because at the time it was looking like I may have to go down to Arizona to take care of some things. And so I talked to the agency and I said, I'm sorry, can we put my application on hold? And they were fine with that, which was really great. And I regret it now because I could have been pregnant already by this point, but I wouldn't have had the parents that I have now. So, I guess it's all worked out for the best. So, I wasn't talking to the couple very much. I was always the one that instigated emails. They'd respond back, but they were really brief and formal, and my questions just weren't answered very well. So I didn't tell them I was on break because I just didn't really need to, because we weren't really conversing that much. Right around the time that they decided to finally let me talk to their doctor, once I had been narrowed down to the 3, which I found out later, I had also been seriously considering just going back to the agency, and I had got an email from them asking, if everything had been taken care of, if I was ready to proceed again. And it was still really hard because I felt like if this couple picked me that it would be good. At the same time, I was so tired. So we started in December, so December, January, February, March. So we had 4 months of really horrible communication, and everything that was being done to accelerate the process was on my end. So I talked to the doctor, and then I waited like a week or 2, so this puts me in early to middle April. And I waited, like I said, I waited a week or 2, and I didn't hear anything from the couple. So I sent them all a note just wondering if they had chosen between the 3 surrogates yet, and they told me that they hadn't even talked to the doctor because they just couldn't find the time. So that was another big flag, I guess, for me. If they can't find the time to talk to a doctor, I don't know how they're going to be with the whole surrogacy process. And that was actually the very last time I spoke to them. It was a really short email that they sent me back, no decisions have been made by this time, no decisions have been made at this time, and no contracts have been signed, thank you. And they signed their name, that was it. And so I went ahead and told Growing Generations that I wanted my profile to be reopened, and I went through the last little phase of it, sending all my delivery records, signing up for medical insurance, that sort of thing. And then I got my match meeting. So my match meeting was May 30th and 31st. And it was not my match meeting, I'm sorry, my screen. So in May, I got my screening, my medical screening, and that was on the 30th and 31st, I believe, or the 29th and 30th. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused, but anyways, it was the last couple days of the month, and we went out to LA, we had my medical screening, and we came back. About a week later, 8 days actually, I got a message saying that everything came back fine and they were ready to give me a profile, but they had to check some things with Utah laws. They already had a couple in mind, but they had to make sure that Utah laws were going to work right around this couple and me. So I waited another week, which was in the middle of June, and I got my first profile, and we read over it, and it was the couple that I'm working with now, and we really liked them, and I decided we wanted to meet them. So they liked us back. So the end of June, we flew out to the East Coast and met them, and it was really great, and we had really good experience. And we got back home, and I sent off an email saying, hey, I'd love to work with them, and apparently they sent off the same email. So that was the end of June, and again, that was the last couple of days. So it's just, the process was so fast. I really wish I would have just done that rather than try to do it independently. And in the future, honestly, I don't think I'd ever do independently. It's really nice having the agency there to kind of make everything work. All I have to do is get pregnant and get to places that I need to be, you know. So, anyways, that was the end of June. The beginning of July, we got an official confirmation that we were all going to be working together and we all liked each other and all that sort of stuff. They had 10 days to fund the account, and I think it actually took a little bit longer. But so the middle of July, they funded their account, because the client accounts have to be fully funded before legal will begin. So that was the middle of July, and then they sent out, I want to say on the 15th or the 16th of July, they sent out the rough draft of the contract. And we all looked through it. They got it first, and they added a couple things, which I already knew that they were going to be adding because we discussed it during the match meeting and after. So they added a couple things. I agreed to it all. I think I got it on a Monday, and on that Thursday, I had a call with the lawyer, and I said, you know, I didn't really have any questions except for one, which was answered, and I was ready to go. So the next day, we got our final draft of the contract. Which one Friday, they told me to sign it and send it, and then the parents would sign it. So I signed it on Friday, and I didn't work Saturday or Sunday. And Monday, I tried to send it, and I couldn't. Well, I did, but they didn't, their computer wouldn't accept the format I sent it in for some reason. So I tried to fax it, and my fax machine decided to be stupid. So that Tuesday, I get a call saying to hold off on signing it and sending it in because the parents had a question that they needed to talk to the agency about. And then it was probably about, I think it was the next Monday, and so this is in August, which is where we are now. So this, let's see, this last Thursday, so just a couple days ago, I finally get the second final copy of it, and everything had been cleared up. They didn't have to change anything. So I faxed that out on Thursday night, and I'm waiting for tomorrow to see if they receive the fax all in one piece this time, because they were out of the office this last Friday, so I've just been playing a waiting game, and that's where I am right now. So I hope I kind of catch you up, and I'm sorry it was really long, but talk to you guys later. Bye!